RomzDELUXE is an individual born and bred in Islolo, that's in the East Rand. I later moved to the Val, went to school there, and yeah, I've been there till matric 2010. And so my whole DJing career started in high school in 97. I'm not that old. Started in 97, I was in standard 7 in 97, started throwing gigs during, what's the CV's day, doing hip hop shows, hosting the hip hop shows and doing the music at the same time, So we were playing tapes back then, so all my music came from Metro FM, Radio Metro. We used to tape Glenn Lewis's show. Glenn Lewis's show then was the hottest thing ever. I don't know why they're not going back to that. Maybe they should play like one of the shows back then just to remind themselves of how it used to be, how it was nothing like what's going on now. But wow, when I speak of Glenn Lewis, that guy is a legend and people don't know, very few people know the legendary status of Mr. Glenn Lewis, So yeah, we used to play tapes, and I host the shows, get people to pay $20. I designed my own flyers. So back then, how I would design my own flyers was I would draw the flyer with the lineup, because I'm an artist too. So draw it on a piece of paper and then go to the photocopy room at school, pay for the copies, they'd come out black and white. All of them were black and white, they were never color. So you could sort of imagine what kind of vibe it was, I started with the first gig, it was successful. Did the second one, successful, and then I got copied. People try to do gigs, but they didn't know that I didn't fall into this thing. Like my dad was a DJ. So yeah, everything that I'm doing now is exactly what my dad did. My dad was a DJ, he's an artist. I'm an artist too. I'm a graphic designer. Well, he draws. Right now he's a glass artist. He makes furniture out of glass, just purely glass. And but we can never work together because we're the same person, so we always going on at each other, but nonetheless, we love each other. So yeah, just fast forward, I started taking this DJing thing seriously after matric.
I promise I'll be back and we'll be together. Troubles they may come, but they don't last forever.
I DJ'd and it felt like I was going nowhere slowly because this whole thing became a popularity contest, So people who were DJ, it was basically the popular you are, the more gigs you get. Which is the case now, and it's very sad. It's not about talent anymore, and all of us are trying to work with that. We're trying to adapt because we can't be all sad and angry at the situation. You need to move with the times, you know what I mean? I also, when I was DJing, I met up with a DJ called DJ Speedster. DJ Speedster is one of the people I'm very proud of, man, because I saw that guy move too quick, and with moving too quick, it comes with people hating on you. But let me tell you something about that. That guy worked very hard, and he understood that branding yourself comes with the game. It's not just about the talent, you know. So I'm just throwing little bits of information and things that I went through, you know. So I'm not like starting from 97 going up, you know. I'm just, you know, because it's overwhelming. So like the questions you're asking me, like I'm getting a lot of flashbacks, you know. But shout out to DJ Speedster, man. You really inspired me, even though I'm older than you. I'm an OG and all of that. But you're an inspiration, man. And yeah, then, you know, as I was playing music, doing the gigs, I've always wanted to be a producer. But I was so scared of being a producer because I wanted to be as great as the people whose music I play, you know. So people like DJ Spinner put me on. If you know DJ Spinner, Google him. He makes great music. He's a versatile producer. He doesn't just make house or just hip hop, you know. And yeah, I was always scared to try to produce music, but I could always hear sounds in my head. Like I can, till now, like I can hear a whole song in my head that I've never heard before. And that's what makes me a special DJ. And because I come from an advertising background, I've been working in advertising for 16 years. I'm not that old. And you see, like when I make a song, let me take it back to what was I saying? Yeah, I've always been scared to produce. And then a friend of mine, DJ Msepang, put me on and he said, yo, why don't you try this program called Reason? I'm like, this thing looks complicated. I am not gonna do that. And he's like, just try it. This is how you do it. So I'm watching him produce a song and I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to do that. He's like, okay, sit on this chair, do something. And then I started, I was getting laughed at, you know, but I could always hear the song, I just couldn't put it out. And then I just put in the time. I put in the time, I think I spent like 2-3 years trying to be a producer. And eventually I made my first favorite song. It was called Body. And I did all that by myself. And I put out Body and, 26,000 downloads on data file hosts. And I was quite impressed, but there were still problems, you know. You can't just get to radio. You can't just knock on the door opens. You're like, hey, I have a song, and they play your song. It doesn't work like that, and that made me very depressed and very, like it just crashed my whole world, you know. And just to fast forward, yeah, I've made close to 1,000 songs now. I'm also a songwriter because I can hear the songs in my head. Like, I'm a songwriter, and I'm not just a beat maker. Like, very few artists know how painful it is to work with me. But in the end, when you hear the song, you're very proud. Because I'm not the type of producer that lets you do your own thing on the mic. You stand right there and I play you songs. I inspire you. I will play you songs that great artists recorded, and I will just to show you when someone says they love someone in a song, like I have to feel that you mean it without me seeing. You know, I'm hearing your voice. Your voice says you really, really love this girl. So most artists just want to get onto the mic and just, you know, it's about a feeling. If we can't record today because you're feeling a certain way, you're not in the mood, then we're not going to do it. Then maybe we need to change the location, You know, I know someone who does that very well, like AKA would record his whole album in some island, you know, and that sometimes changing locations can put out a good product. You know?
I return to you, baby, ngiphelele noma abantu bengakhuluma bethini okusalayo ngizobuya kuwe ngilale